Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jahani. Welcome again. Inshallah, today we will continue our unit 5, Making Choices. Today we will cover lesson 3, the grammar. Before we start the lesson, let's recall what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, these are the things we covered: express cause and effect, ask and answer questions related to the listening, comment on people's situations. These are the things we covered in our lesson, previous lesson. Inshallah, today, by the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify conditional sentences with present and future forms. Use I'd rather to show preferences. Okay? I gave you homework, page 107. I'm sure you did it. I will go through the answers only. So for number 1, you have scenic places. You have to put scenic here. You have to use the words in the box and write it in the blank. Here we have pollution, environment, then pollution, conservationist, and generate. For the comment, benefit here also. For the comment, would you choose for factory or against it? I would choose against the factory because the pollution will destroy the environment. This is the comment I wrote. I'm sure you wrote and finished this part. For number 2, here we have the first fit in, right, fit in, and focus, to group, to pass, and for the comment, study for your history test. We can hang out later. This is the comment I've written. Now, starting our lesson, page 51, please open your books. I have this question for you. What should I do if I get sick? What do you think, what should I do if I get sick? If I tell you I'm very sick, you would tell me, yeah, miss, if you're sick, you drink hot soup, for example. If you get sick, you drink hot soup. Or if you get sick, you go to the doctor. Okay, you gave me advice if I'm sick. And here, if you notice, you say if, okay? If you get sick. I'm not sick, if I get sick, okay? You drink hot soup or you go to the doctor. We can see here the verb. Which tense is it? Get, and go, drink. This is the present. We call this conditionals, okay? Conditional sentences. We call it conditional sentences, okay? Why we use the conditionals? Why do you think we use the conditionals? If you get sick, you go to the doctor. Why do we use it, the conditionals? We can use the conditional sentences with F. We use it with F to talk about cause and results. Causes and results. This is why we use it. You can see that on page 50. Okay? The conditional sentences, they can come in the present tense and the future form. We can see it in present, future. What is the difference? We will go through it one by one. Okay? If you cook an egg in the microwave, it explodes. Okay? If you put water in the freezer, it becomes ice. Okay? So here in the first one, we can see it starts with F, and here we have starts with an F. Here we have the verb cook. Which tense is it? Cook. If you put cook and put, which tense is it? This is present. So here we have conditionals in the present tense, okay? Here also we have it explodes. We added an S because it's a present, and we have an et. Also here we added an S. So both these parts, they are in the present. Here we call it an F clause. This is an F clause. And here we have the F clause from here to here. We call it an F and it's a cause, the cause, something causes something. And here we have the result. This is the cause and this is the result, okay? The present facts, all these in present. The present fact, we use the simple present tense in both clauses. In both, we use present, both clauses. The if and the cause and the result, okay? We use the present. This is how we form it. We have if in the present, and the result should be present simple. Like, what if we have these statements? Sorry. What if we have these statements? If Saeed gets the job, he will be very happy. If Imad doesn't go to college, he is going to be very sorry. Look at these words. Is it the same as before, the one before? Here we have if, starts with an F, and here we have which tense? Gets. This is the present. So here we have the F clause, the F part, the cause. We have it in the present. The second part, I will be. He's going to be. This is future. This is future, okay? So here we have from here and here. We call it the F clause. It's the cause. And here we have the result, okay? Future facts, we use simple present in the F clause. So this clause, the F clause, we use the present, like here, okay? And the future with be, going to, or will. The future, we can form it in two ways, either using will or going to, okay? In the result section. So if we're talking about future facts, we have the cause, we have it in present. And the result should be with will, the future, will or going to. It depends, okay? If present, a future, it can be either with will or going to, okay? As we said. Now, try to complete this exercise. Exercise A. Complete the sentences with facts. Use the simple present or will. So here we will decide either we will use the future fact or the present fact, okay? Number one, if you, and we have the word between brackets. With the future and the present, the F clause, the cause, which tense is it? It's all, so we will start, if you can see F, we will put the present immediately without thinking. You can think about the other, the result part. The result part, we can use either simple present or future. The future can be with will or going to. If you, here we use heat. Immediately we write heat. Heat water to 100 degrees Celsius. It, what will happen? This is a fact. What will happen? It boils. We added an S because we have it here. We added an S to boil. So it boils. Can you think about all the statements? Compare your answers with your friends. Pause the video. Then let's do it together. Number two, if they, we say climb. Immediately we write it the same. Climb. Up to 4,000 meters, they, what do we write here? They will need oxygen. They will need oxygen. So we're talking in the future here. If you, and here we have not, cross. What should we do? How can we form the negative in the present? We add either do or does. So don't cross its path, the snake. And also here we have a negative. How can we form it? Won't bite. Instead of will, we write won't bite because we have a negative here. Number four, immediately if we get, we write it the same, okay? this HD television, we see the game better. So we will see the game better. Now number 5, if you mix flour and water, you end up with batter. 6, if he, here we have to add an S. So not, how can we write? Do or does. With he, do or does. So we write doesn't obey the speed limit, he will get a ticket. This is it for exercise A. Now I want you to look at this part. Look at these 2 sentences. If Noura doesn't do the homework, she may fail the class. If Imad doesn't go to college, he might not get a good job. If we look at the first part, we call it the F part, صح? This is the cause. We have doesn't do, this is present, and doesn't go, this is present. Here, in the effect part, we can see may and might, and we have the base form here, okay? We can use may and might also in the conditionals to talk about the future. But what is the difference here? If I say, if Noura doesn't do the homework, she will fail the class. She will fail the class, or she may fail the class. Which one you think it's more stronger? Will. We use may when we are not sure. When we are like, for example, 50 or 70% sure. We're not very sure about it, okay? We use either may or might when we are not sure. We use will and going to when we are very sure. They are also here future facts. So here we have the F cause. We have the result with may and might. We use may and might in the result clause to suggest something is possible, but not certain, not sure, okay? Not like will and going to. This is the difference. Here, just to summarize the if conditionals, we have if plus present. We have the present in the F clause. If you have the present, you have 2 things. Either the present simple in the present fact, or the future. The future divided into 2. When you are sure, you use will, going to. When it's possible, 50%, you will use either might or might. Okay, this is just to summarize the whole thing. Okay, now exercise B, work with the partner. Say what will or might happen in the following situations. So here we will use the future fact. Okay, the future only, we will focus on the future. The ending of these statements, you should choose either will or might. When you are sure, you will use will. When you are not really sure, you will use might. Okay? Please pause the video, think about it, try to write the answers, try to think about it, how can you form it, and compare the answers with your friends. Now, let's see the answers together. Number 1, if we take the scenic route, it will take more time. It will take more time. Here we used will. If we spend the day in the country, we will be able to relax. Number 3, if we rent a boat, we will be able to go cross the lake. If we bring a picnic lunch, we will be able to eat near the lake. If we invite, number 5, if we invite some friends to come along, we will have more fun. The last one, 6, if we have time, we will walk around the lake. طيب يا miss, I wrote some of it using might. It's correct. Here we don't have a right or wrong answer. You can replace any will, any of will with might. Okay? We are only guessing, speculating, okay? Now exercise C, look at the pictures. You have to look at the pictures on your book. You have a big picture, a farm and the route, some cows, we have a river and a man is fishing from the river. We have different things happening in the picture. Look at that picture on page 51. Look at that picture to answer this exercise. Match the part of the sentences. Here we have sentences, we have to match it with the results. We have the if, the cause, and here we have the results, okay? If she leaves the food on the ground, what will happen? يا مس كيف أعرف? Look at the picture from your book. Look at the picture there. You can see if she leaves the food, what will happen? If the cow crosses the road, what will happen from here? Okay? If the boy doesn't stop hitting their nest, there is a nest and the boy is hitting the nest. If the man catches a fish, what will happen to the man? What will happen? What will he do? Okay? If it rains on the farm, 5, what will happen if it rains? 6, if the toy plane crashes. If the toy plane crashes, what will happen? Here we have the causes and the effects. He'll be pleased. B, the boy won't be happy. The ants will take it. The ants will take what? If she leaves on the floor. Think about it, try to match it. D, it will be good for the farmer's crops. E, the truck might hit it. F, the wasps will sting him because he is doing what? Look at the pictures and try to match. Now let's see the answers together. So if she leaves the food on the ground, we match it with C, the ants will take it. Number 2, if the cow crosses the road, we match it with E, the truck might hit it. 3, if the boy doesn't stop hitting their nest, we match it with F, the wasps will sting him. Okay? 4, if the man catches a fish, A, he'll be pleased, he will be happy. 5, if it rains on the farm, we match it with D, it will be good for the farmer's crops, the plants. 6, if the toy plane crashes, we match it with B, the boy won't be happy, he will be sad. This is it for exercise C. Now moving on to exercise D, make up your own questions. Now you have to write questions also related to the pictures and answer it with if about the pictures on page 51, the same pictures. For example, what do you think will happen if the government build highway along this route? The answer, if they build a highway, a new shopping mall will go up. If they build a highway, there won't be any cows in the field. So they are speculating, making guesses. If something, there is a cause and a result. Try to do the same. Ask each other questions related to the pictures and think about answers. Like for example, if the man catches a fish, what will he do with it? What do you think? We can answer it saying, if the man catches the fish, he might have it for dinner. Okay? The second question, what will happen if the farmer doesn't do something about the cows? What will happen to the cows? If the farmer doesn't do something about the cows, they may cause an accident. Okay? Now I want you to look here for the second part of our lesson today. We have I want to ask you this question. Do you want to eat at the Japanese or Italian place tonight? I'm giving you a choice. I'm giving you a choice. Either to eat in a Japanese or a Chinese restaurant. If I ask you this question, which one you prefer? You would say, I'd rather, I want to eat noodles. I want to eat noodles, so I'd rather to go to a Chinese restaurant. Or you can say, I'd rather eat sushi. So let's go to the Japanese place. I'm giving you a choice between the two, okay? Muhammad, why don't you live in Riyadh? If I ask you, why do you live in your city? Why don't you live in another city? You would say, I'd rather live somewhere near the sea, okay? That's why I don't live in Riyadh, for example. Now here we use I'd rather. We are choosing something than the other one. We use I'd rather. What does it mean? Or I would rather. I'd rather, it's the same as I would rather, okay? To talk about preferences. The preferences, we're choosing between two things. Like for example, do you prefer to eat, for example, Saudi cuisine or Indian cuisine? Which one you prefer? So each one of us, we prefer something. We like something more than the other one, okay? Do you prefer to drive along the scenic route or take the highway? Which one you like? You like the highway, the speeding way, or the scenic route, the calm and quiet route? I'd rather drive along the scenic route. Okay, so there is no right or wrong answer here. Or you can say, I'd rather drive along the highway. Okay? Now exercise E, what would you rather do? Share your choices with a partner. So here we don't have a right or wrong answer. Each one of us has their own choice, okay? For example here, live in the city, live in the country. So which one you want to be? Do you like to live in a big city or the countryside, like in a village or in a small town? So you would say, I'd rather live in the country than live in the city. This is an example. Okay, this is the example. We can see it in our book. Now, I want you to think about the other statements. 1, 2, I think we have it until 8. So look at all the choices. Get a job, go to college. Which one you prefer? When you finish, inshallah, your high school. Do you want to get a job or you go to college? Which one you'd rather do? Okay? Think about it, pause the video, write your choices, and then compare your answer with your partner. Do you have the same ideas or you have different ideas? Now let's see the answers together. I'd rather get a job than go to college, or I'd rather go to college than get a job. Both answers are correct. 2, lay in the sun, sit in the shade. Which one you prefer? Personally, I like to sit in the shade. So I'd rather lie in the sun than sit in the shades, or I'd rather sit in the shades than lie in the sun. Number 3, cook dinner or wash the dishes. I'd rather cook dinner than wash the dishes. I'd rather wash the dishes than cook dinner. Okay, both answers are correct. Number 4, live in an apartment, live in a house. Which one you would rather? I'd rather live in an apartment, or I'd rather live in a house. 5, travel by train, travel by plane. Which one you prefer, train or plane? You would say, I'd rather travel by train, or I'd rather travel by plane. Okay? Now, the last part here, go to the beach, go to the mountains. Which one you prefer? I'd rather go to the beach, or I'd rather go to the mountains. 7. Have cold weather, have hot weather. Which one you prefer? I'd rather have cold weather or I'd rather have hot weather. The last one, 8. Eat at home, eat at a restaurant. Which one you prefer? I'd rather eat at home or I'd rather eat at a restaurant. Okay? Now, for your homework, I want you to do page 118 and 119. And what did we cover in our lesson today? In our lesson, we covered the conditional sentences with future form and present form. And we learned how to use I'd rather to show preferences. Okay? For the irregular verbs, please open your books, page 82. We have number 4, the fourth verb. We have buy, bought, and bought. How we put it in sentences? I buy some snacks every weekend. I bought some snacks yesterday. Or I have bought some snacks. Also here, 5, we have come, came, and come. They come to class early. This is the present. For the past, they came to class early. The third verb, they have come to the class early. Okay? Question verb 6, we have cut, cut, cut. It's the same. So she cuts her finger. She cut her finger. She has cut her finger. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and inshallah I will see you next class.